Young people killing themselves, young people harming themselves and others.
So this month we are going to say no to it. We don't want it in this school. We don't want it around us.
In the news tonight, City of Windhoek secures 155 million Namibia dollar loan for new power substation to avoid load shedding.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Good evening, I'm Nashon Maringa. In the news tonight, City Police impound over 60 pirate taxis. New Windhoek Mayor to recommend candidate for CEO. Millennium Group embrace NTA apprenticeship program. Annual cost of malnutrition stands at 11.1 billion Namibian dollars according to Shernick. And Business on One, Comments Corner, Sport and the weather. Over 60 illegal taxi operators were detained and later released by City Police this week. Chief of City Police Abraham Kanime said that with the new in-house taxi verification application for members of the public, they were able to detect illegal vehicles and seized them.
Kanime said they impounded over 60 illegal taxis through the taxi verification application. Kanime said the app enables members of the public to alert traffic officers of suspicious public transport operators by giving the big numbers displayed on the side of the taxis.
That applications, once you put in that big number, it will be able to give you all this information. The owner, the driver, and everything. And if it's false, then it will tell you that no, that's a fake. But fake can it be that it was a previous number, but due to other conditions that you're supposed to meet, the number was deregistered. Although it's deregistered, this person is still using it. Some of these taxis are the one being used in committing crime. Those that are going to commit crime, they always put false numbers.
City Police Sergeant Evan Katiti from the training section explained how the taxi verification app works.
If you go on the application and you simply type in the number of the taxi, the one in question is the purple one below there. If you put it K089, the taxi registration number will pop up there, and then the make and description, as well as the permit holder, as well as contact numbers will be available. So if you make a comparison on the information based on what is registered on the system vis-a-vis what you see on the road there, then you will see a difference, and therefore that vehicle is not legitimate. It is just merely just forged numbers to put them on the vehicle, while it is not a registered taxi.
The taxi verification application for public members can be utilized by all residents in Windhoek. Kanime urged the public to use the app when they encounter or see any suspicious cars in their areas.
It's back to school, back to early mornings, back to routine, back to homework, uniforms and school lunches. So, we've got specials to get you back to school with a smile. like 700ml all-gold tomato sauce for only $27.99 and Koo baked beans and tomato sauce. Buy 2 for just $24. Plus, we're giving away extra smiles with cash bursaries worth $10,000. Only at Spar.
The City of Windhoek Mayor Joseph Wapingene said he will engage relevant stakeholders in order to appoint the candidate who came second in the Chief Executive Officer interview. This comes after the municipality suffered a blow when the preferred candidate, Conrad Lutombi, turned down an offer to head the municipality last December. The city has been without a substantive CEO for nearly 3 years following the resignation of its former boss.
Joseph Wapingene, who became the mayor last month, stated that the council has taken a resolution that allows for the consideration of the second candidate for filling the position of the chief executive officer. Wapingene stated that once the decision is implemented, the new CEO will be appointed.
Yes, I'm a believer. I believe in positive. For me, I have called the HR, I've consulted them, and I have told them that they must go back, do their homework, they must come back to me and convince me otherwise. For me, we have to go on with the second candidate because the resolution is already taken. Because I don't want to operate in the organization that doesn't have an accounting officer. So for me, we are going on with the second candidate.
City of Windhoek councillors yesterday had a consultative meeting with the Minister of Urban and Rural Development, Erastus Utoni, to deliberate on the state of the city's leadership and be briefed on the status and way forward of the council. Councillor Job Ampanda of the Affirmative Repositioning, in a telephonic interview, said that the meeting was successful, further responding to the mayor's remarks that it is not up to the mayor to decide who gets appointed as CEO.
The minister wanted to understand what is going on in the direction and things like that. So we first give him an understanding on matters of law, what is basically happening. The law provides for people to be nominated to accept or decline nomination. So that's legal. There's nothing illegal. It's part of the process. It's not new to Namibia. This thing has been happening. But of course, it's not a desirable situation because it's a capital city. But it's not up to the mayor or anything. It's not up to him to say, the resolution is there. It's not whether he doesn't have a choice or a luxury to choose anything. The resolutions are there and they are to be implemented by the administration and the management committee to ensure their implementation. It's not up to him.
The city councillors are expected to meet next week Thursday, the 9th of February, to resolve the impasse and elect the remaining 2 members of the management committee.
The Namibia Training Authority, the NTA, introduced a program last year that gives trainees from technical and vocational training institutions the opportunity to undertake apprenticeship at local companies. One company that has embraced the program is Millennium Group, which recently welcomed 18 apprentices from the Windhoek Vocational Training Center, the WVTC, to acquire practical skills in various trades through on-the-job training.
According to the founder of Millennium Group, Parastus Nepolo, the apprenticeship program was started to help Namibia become industrialized by having enough artisans. News on One caught up with Matthew Simon, a 25-year-old who hails from Tsunkwe West. The Windhoek Vocational Training Center Refrigeration and Air Conditioning Level 2 trainee says the program is helping him a lot because the training involves practicals.
I am so happy to be in this program. It's like us marginalized people, we like being behind. So it's not, we cannot just be saying that we are marginalized, we cannot do something. We have to put all the efforts to go to school, to go to TVET institutions, also to have artisans in our community. Our community, we doesn't have artisans. we doesn't have artisans like refrigeration artisans, electricians, we doesn't have artisans there. So I'm encouraging them also to get enrolled into companies that can give them scholarships or to go to TVET institutions. For us also to be able to have artisans in our community, also to trade in our community.
Another trainee, Anna Nambinga, says that she feels lucky to be an apprentice of office administration, which is funded by NTA. Nambinga explains why fellow trainees should apply for the program.
Yeah, I would encourage anyone that qualified to apply. We also have, I think last week, forms out. A lot of students were up here applying for this. Those that will be lucky, I wish for them the best, because this is a free, it's not, let me not say free, but it's a fully funded course by NTA. You don't have to pay. All you have to do is to study. Unless you failed, then you have to pay for your own course on it. But if not, otherwise, everything is funded.
Parastus Nepolo, who is also a technical, vocational education and training promoter, shared with News on One that the program takes 3 years to complete.
Not all the students that have passion to do theory. We then have to group them, to say these ones really can qualify, but only few that we pick that they are only talented. They are only talented, but they can't make it on theoretical subjects. Now these few students that we realize that they cannot, according to the outcome of the results and how we assess them during the year, we have realized that these few students, like one of our students, a practical example from marginalized community, Tunkwe area, this student can fix almost everything. He can do basic electrical, he can fix washing machine, he can fix fridges, but he, unfortunately he could not pass any theoretical subject.
News on One caught up with the manager of work integrated at NTA, Dalia Moya, who stated that the main purpose of the apprenticeship program is to improve the quality of technical and vocational education and training. Moya further explains that apprenticeship is fully funded by NTA and students are not required to have any registration fee.
The director of Namibia's Nutrition and Food Security Alliance, NAFSAN, Ben Shernick, said that a quarter of Namibia's population is malnourished because of the country's lack of coordination in achieving food security. Shernick made these remarks at the Intersectoral Coordination and Technical Exchange Workshop on Food Security and Agronomic Support Initiatives in Windhoek yesterday.
According to Shernick, the annual cost of malnutrition, which was reported to stand at 11.1 billion Namibian dollars last year, makes up approximately 5.2% of the country's GDP.
An average family of 5 needs 3.1 thousand Namibian dollars per month for a minimal nutritious diet for the children and the adults. And if we think of the high levels of unemployment, if we think of even what people earn at a ShopRite cashier earns 1.6, 1.7, how can people afford that? So this is also where we need to think about access for everyone and tackling the inequalities and poverty rates. The main goal is really to reduce the stunting rates and to make sure Namibia is food and nutrition secure. But the first objective focuses around health. The second one focuses around agriculture. The third one around school education, school nutrition, social protection, and the water, sanitation, hygiene, environment. And the fourth one is really about the investment, the coordination, to really make sure that we really continuously collaborate and work in these efforts to achieve the policy objectives.
Shernick reiterated that NAFSAN, together with other agriculture and health sector stakeholders, are implementing a coordinating structure to target hunger and malnutrition in Namibia with the aim to achieve the Zero Hunger SDG by 2027.
We also embarked on a project on the urban agriculture. We looked at the informal settlements that were hard hit by COVID through unemployment, and also how to transform this informal settlement or this shack into one that looks rather like this, which is not just more a nicer place to live in, but also where people can generate or produce their own food.
The acting director of the Agricultural Extension and Engineering Services, Ben Harasep, stated that Namibia exports 779 million worth of citrus produce annually, proving that the state possesses both the funds and the capacity to eliminate hunger and malnutrition by 2030.
We will only be able to implement those programs if there is a commitment from the government to source the agriculture sector. Although there is a Malabo declaration that says that 10% of the agriculture of the budget should be coming to agriculture, I believe it should not be a declaration that should dictate. It should be the interest of the country that should dictate for them to be able to allocate more than 10% of the budget to agriculture for us to be able to push forward. Of course, with the commitment, dedication of the sector, we should be able to then make use of that budget that we are getting for us to be effectively, efficiently implement and push the agriculture sector forward.
The stakeholders forming part of the structure to target hunger and malnutrition include the Ministries of Health, Agriculture, the Office of the Prime Minister, and the National Planning Commission.
Enjoy these fantastic payday savings at Clicks until the 8th of February. Buy Clicks 2-ply toilet paper 18 rolls, 2 for $104.99 per pack and 1 for $114.99. Save 20% on Pampers Pants or Baby Dry Disposable Nappies Jumbo Pack, now $241.99 per pack. And buy Handy Andy Trigger Spray, 2 for $86. Clicks, feel good, pay less.
Welcome to this evening's edition of Business on One. The executive chairperson of the National Youth Council, Sharonese Bush, said alleviating financial barriers for young entrepreneurs and creating sustainable jobs should be prioritized in order to lower youth unemployment. Bush said this will be key areas of focus for the newly commissioned National Task Force on the implementation of the recommendation of the targeted review report on youth unemployment in Namibia.
The NYC executive chairperson revealed that the number of unemployed youth in Namibia has increased from 2018, when out of a total of 877,000 youth between the ages of 15 to 34 in Namibia, 310,000 were employed and 265,770 were unemployed. Bush, in an interview with News on One, said the task force should look into platforms created through agencies such as the National Youth Service and the National Youth Council and other government organizations to ensure that avenues are made accessible to as many youth as possible.
We do know that the Namibian youth are very innovative. They have the creativity, but we need to ensure that barriers to entry such as access to finance, the red tape that goes along getting into businesses and setting up a sustainable business is looked at extensively, and that forms part of the work that the task force will be doing. And especially, like I've said, intergovernmental coordination. We do know that BIPA has done a significant job in reducing the red tape with regards to registering businesses, so that we must also applaud and take note of. But what young people now need is mentorship to ensure that from a business idea, that idea goes through incubation to ensure that it then becomes a sustainable enterprise that is supported through adequate funding, that does not have a lot of, collateral attached to it, because that is also a challenge for young people, the collateral that is still placed on microfinancing and financing for young entrepreneurs. So these are the immediate work that the task force has on their hands.
Council member for the African Peer Review Mechanism, Betty Schroeder, said the task force is expected to ensure positive outcomes in terms of job creation for the youth as per recommendations of the targeted review report on youth unemployment, monitor and coordinate the implementation of the recommendations, and prepare progress reports to be submitted to the African Peer Review Forum in 2024.
First of all, we need to make sure that increased youth intake in technical and vocational training is taken into consideration. We need to report on increased internship for skills transfer. Extremely, extremely important. We need to ensure that we report on the increased youth employment quotas within the public and private sectors, as well as increased funding for youth enterprising, improved tax incentives for youth enterprises, increased youth participation in local procurement.
The task force, which was officially commissioned today, comprises of officials from the Ministry of Sport, Youth and National Service, the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development, the National Youth Council, the Ministry of Labour, Industrial Relations and Employment Creation, the Office of the Prime Minister, the National Planning Commission, the African Peer Review Mechanism Secretariat, and the Ministry of International Relations and Cooperation.
And that is all we have for you. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages for more on business news.
Coming soon, only on One Africa, a remarkable journey into nature. Namibia is one of the least densely populated countries on this planet. The country's wildlife and environment enjoy constitutional protection, and unique fauna and flora inhabits this ancient arid country. The Conservation Film Foundation proudly presents Wild Namibia, a local TV series that focuses on conservationists in action. Filmed during the 2020 pandemic, this series documents the work of people who ensure Namibia's wild places continue to be conserved. Watch this action-packed exploration into environments few have seen before, exclusively on One Africa, on DSTV 284, DSTV Now, and GoTV 90.
The National Unity Democratic Organization NUDO's Secretary General Joseph Kawandenge stated that Namibians should not be concerned that members of parliament received new mobile phones as part of their benefits. Kawandenge, who is a member of parliament, claimed that lawmakers have been considerate of the economic hardship facing the country and did not enjoy the package due to them. Mendoza said that the MPs should buy the iPhones with their own money. Nkala said this is how opposition parties operate. Bushi Makeleni asked whether the parliamentarian is able to purchase his own mobile phone. Ipinge said it seems that for the opposition, it is only wrong when they are not included and benefiting. Nico said Kawandenge is good at playing with words. Pietra said the country is in wrong direction. That is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to engage on our stories on our social media pages for broadcast on News on One.
Great deals from Choppies. Choppies, great deals for your money.
And now let's have a look at some sports news. The Craig Williams Cricket Academy, which is the only private high-performance cricket centre in the country, has reviewed the year that was for the organisation with Sport on One. Founder and coach of the Craig Williams Cricket Academy, Craig Williams, was delighted in sharing the achievements of his academy.
Williams reiterated that the Academy's aim is to witness some of their students evolve and represent the country in the senior national team.
We have got a couple of guys who train our under-19 age groups, and they're knocking on the door. So hopefully sometime soon we will see one of our boys who've come through the academy representing the country on the field. So in 2023 we'll run 2 action cricket leagues again, for corporate leagues. So we just finished on the 3rd of December our second season of our quick cricket, we call it. We had Star Bodyworks beating 13 other corporate teams. So it was loads of fun, and we'll be doing that again 2 seasons now in 2023. So with our sponsors, without the support from our parents, something like this won't be possible. So just from our side at the JC Sports Shop and the Craig Williams Cricket Academy, which will now become the Bookwiz Cricket Academy, we're just extremely excited for 2023. Exciting things happening here at our facility, and we're looking forward to seeing some more results from our kids in our academy. We've had great results, in the past national weeks, parents, contacting us saying how well their kids have done on the field.
Williams also took the opportunity to give a brief background on what the Academy provides.
So our academy is a 2-hour sessions from 4 to 6 in the evenings. Fridays is from 2 to 4. We also do one-on-one coaching. So myself, Harry Rasmus, Sean Fisher, Romano, Kayleen Green, who plays for the national women's team, we all do one-on-ones as well, if parents would like more specific training. Like I said, it's high performance training. We put kids on videos, so we've got TVs inside, we've got whiteboards. We plan different match scenarios, 20-20 over cricket, 6 aside, 10 aside, 10 over cricket. 50 over matches, so that's what we do. We're open 12 months of the year. Our academy runs from January through to November, and in December we've got training camps. So that's what we do here at the indoor centre. Obviously it's a comfortable environment. We're out of the sun, there's aircon. We managed to upgrade our lighting 3 months ago. So the whole idea was to be able to provide a safe training environment where you can really focus on technique, and really focus on improving the kids' skills and ability.
Williams encouraged all youth that has no sport activities to come to the High Performance Centre and enjoy themselves or learn a new skill.
That's all the sports news we had for you. Please stay tuned for the weather forecast. We have come to the end of tonight's edition of News on One. Don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms. From me, Nashon Marenga, and the rest of the team,